Just watch me, El. I'll solve equations with my right hand and write names with my left. I'll take a potato chip
and eat it! Yes, as you can tell by my advanced knowledge of how to eat a chip properly. Shh, you don't notice that. I've just recently finished up Death Note with a friend. And I gotta say, other than the obvious that Netflix did that dirty, that the show is actually pretty good. My problem is, I feel like L should have got, like, spoilers, okay? Spoilers, leave if you don't want to hear this. L should have solved the case, because the second half of it, while good, I really wasn't that fond of Nier or Mello. That said, I like characters with character quirks. Specifically, like, Detroit become human, and like with the coin, or Mello's chocolate eating thing. I think is very cool. If they were going to introduce these new characters, I feel like they should have stood on their own as new characters and said, like, here's half of L and another half of L, because together, on their own, they were both insufferable. Now, like I said, I like character quirks, and after seeing that chocolate thing and talking to a few people out and about who also are huge anime buffs in my area, I've discovered that I am not alone in my enjoyment of the Mello chocolate thing. So I got to thinking, it's pretty easy to throw together a cosplay for L, cheap as it is. Turtleneck, sweatpants, bare feet, we're good. But I'm wondering, what would be the best chocolate bar for a Mello cosplay? Yes, I am using this as an excuse just to eat chocolate for YouTube. And yes, I should be dieting, but this is a video I want to make. So let's get started. The first chocolate we have up is Lindt Excellence. Now, I didn't notice this when picking this up, but this is a dark chocolate, of which I am not a fan. However, I got roasted hazelnut, because as an enjoyer of hazelnut coffee, you could definitely call me a hazelnut. So, let's open this up. This is actually, I think, my first time ever buying a Lindt chocolate bar. Lindt, oh, that's an unfortunate name to want to have. I pronounced it wrong. It sounds like I'm eating dryer sheets. And let's open this thing up and see how this would go for fitting the bill for a Mello cosplay. Cosplay. I like the foil. That's a very nice touch. I feel like I should be awarded with a golden ticket right off the bat. Visually, this kind of looks like it, because I know in the show, anytime it would show Mello, he'd always have like a bar with the individual squares on it. I think they were a bit thicker, but let's... I don't know, I think the nuts on the back here, if you can see that, that's definitely not going to lend itself well to the sound and the effect we're after. But let's see, let me channel my inner anime angst lad. I love that sound, by the way. It's like anytime you see a character like eating bones or something in a cartoon, when he's got the bones in his mouth, they always use that same like sound effect. It's not bad for dark chocolate. I'm gonna have to eat my words here. It's pretty sweet. So you got kind of a long one here. It didn't quite hold its shape as nicely as the one in the cartoon. So I guess be careful with that. There's probably some sort of technique for that. But yeah, as far as dark chocolate goes, that's pretty good. The hazelnut's really coming through. I think that's really what's kicking this to the top notch. I will finish that later. Let's move on to the next chocolate. Up next, we have the Cadbury Dairy Milk Chocolate. This is more in my line of chocolates. I quite enjoy the milk chocolate. I enjoy the sweeter, creamier taste. I have a very, very sweet taste preference. I know growing up, my parents would always give my sister flack for wanting to eat the sweet foods, and like, fair on, she'd drink a lot of iced tea, but when it came down to just raw sugar consumption, that was mine. I was the silent killer, and Gidge was just an unwitting pawn in my Death Note L-level strategy game here, where yeah, she loves moon pies. And it would be too sweet for her, and I'd ultimately get it because she'd be like, no, I want to live. So, opening it up, this is almost immediately a visual dead ringer for the chocolate in frame. I don't know if there's a particular brand that the show or the anime based it off of, but with the squares and everything, this looks it. This is a nice, thick, sturdy bar, smooth back, no bubbly things in it. Let's see if this one would work. That's a much higher pitched crunch. The breakage here was probably me being too much of a stooge here, so again, I think with practice we could get that one singular cinematic bite off the side there. Not bad at all. That's very smooth, very sweet. It almost kind of has like a honey taste to it. That's not bad. Let's get another one. Alrighty, and the finale. Good old classic Hershey's, and of course I've got to hold it like L, in which I don't want to leave fingerprints on it, or I am just concerned deeply that it's covered in feces. I always wondered that about L, because I didn't think it could be because he was a germaphobe that he held everything like that, because he eats a lot of sugar. If I recall correctly, like, germs really like sugar. And it kind of dawned on me, hey, moron, it's probably because he's just trying not to leave fingerprints on it. And a bit of note here, for the Cadbury, it does break better for the whole mellow look if you use your back teeth. It takes a little bit of angle so it doesn't send little chunklets flying everywhere. But it's a very dominating, very milky, very thick chocolate. And I've noticed going back and finishing this up, because yes, I am a hog, its flavor is a lot more subtle than it lets on at first, and it will easily be lost if you don't flush your palate. So, Lindt kind of wants your fullest attention. But back to the old boy here. Here we've got the classic of the chocolate world. And I don't think it quite has the look of Cadbury, and I'm going to call it now that the winner of the day is Cadbury. But I'm sure there's a better chocolate out there, and I'm going to have to put my L investigative abilities into finding this better chocolate for a Mello cosplay. But for now, let's end on a classic. I'm actually from Pennsylvania originally, and I don't ever remember being at Hershey, Pennsylvania and enjoying the tour of the factory, so this is going to be a little bit of a throwback for me. I'm going to have to stop paying my sideburns. They got the chip fine, but just all these bits of chocolate, they have just let fall through the gate. Yeah, that's a taste. It doesn't quite have the overwhelming sweetness of Cadbury either. Cadbury had this kind of honey quality to it, and this is sweet, this is chocolatey, but there's kind of a stiffness to Hershey's, not in texture and taste, like it's almost bitter, kind of like coffee, kind of very nearly approaching on it. It's not as just restlessly and relentlessly sweet as Cadbury, but yeah. This looks about the right size. It's got the same smooth texture as the Cadbury. The Cadbury had the right elevation and bump shape. And Lindt is just nice to want to exist in general, but I think for now I'm going to have to call it Cadbury until I find a better one. So until next time, I will see you guys later, and I'm going to finish this chocolate and then go into a coma until Wednesday. So, see you around.